Chris from Boostec. TCMs. So we've got replacement TCMs. This is the one that's in my vehicle, the MUX. It's basically the same one across the board from like 2016 through to 2025, or 26 even now. We've made everything quite programmable and very smooth. So there's a lot of downshift functionality, and there's also functionality to cancel downshift minimum torque during a downshift, which I can demonstrate right now. So say if we are coming down in drive, you might notice on the camera or through the speakers that we do have an increase in RPM, and it's like you might be double shifting a manual car, and you're just rev matching, and this is something that is fully programmable. So you can actually have quite excessive downshift minimum torque, or what some people refer to as rev blipping. So we can demonstrate that here. So say we get up to speed, we'll do some manual upshifts, which are a lot firmer. And so we're in fourth now. So if we want to do a downshift to third, we're doing 2000 revs. You would have heard that. It's quite a steep increase in the RPM. And that is all intentional and programmable. So when you're in manual mode, we generally add a bit more torque requests, and it just makes for a bit more of a fun, smoother ride. Everything matches up, and you actually do relieve a lot of shocks out of the gearbox by just matching up your intended RPM for the next gear. So it is definitely something that's handy, and it's healthy for your vehicle. So all traditional, or I shouldn't say traditional, old school gearbox controls generally would have just shift scheduling, maybe some road speed input or something like that, and maybe a stick that dictates, what gear to be in. And with all these newer tech cars, we've also added CAN bus functionality to the shifters, so you can actually have basically any CAN bus shifter controlling your gearbox. Or if you want a traditional shifter, like say, trying to think of one, like a Prado 6-speed shifter, you can definitely use one of them in pretty much any vehicle as well. So as long as it's got PRND and some manual mode, like generally that's gonna be great for anything from 4 speeds up. So you could probably even use that for something like 10 speed, but I wouldn't, but you could. So 10 speeds is one of the cool things that we're working on, or have worked on successfully. And 8 speeds, we have joined the party to make a native controller. So 8 speeds, that's basically any of the 8HP range that you'll commonly see. We already integrate with LAMIC and CAN TCU, and will continue to, but we've also made our own native controller that is maybe a little bit similar to LAMIC, but it does give us a lot of functionality in how to control the torque management side of things. So that was a big ticket item for us to get that all down pat. Skip shifting was probably the most difficult part of the whole gearbox tuning process or firmware setup. So again, much thanks to Baldor and guys, can't even thank Dale from Performance 4x4 enough. And we had Chris from Energetic Motorsports in the US. We've all been involved in some way developing the gearbox functionality, and it's something that we're still progressing to change, and we're definitely not stopping here. So you'll see more and more functionality come in, more and more plug and play harnesses, and you're more than welcome to actually do all the tuning yourself as well. And generally we're going to be providing base files for everything we do. So we do have support groups for the AC60 where you can ask and talk about the programming and different strategies. We also have a general gearbox chat that you can also join in on, and that's something that's going to be really handy if you're just trying to get some ideas from other people that have maybe progressed with the system. There is a steep learning curve for everyone. Like, you've got to remember, you are the tuner, then you have to think, you have to do all your calculations, you have to program in specific inputs and outputs to make anything work, but it's only limited by imagination. So our systems have analog in and out, digital in and out, and also CAN bus in and out. So it is something that's versatile, and all those 3 different types of communication or inputs and outputs can actually be mixed and matched. And so you can convert, say, a digital signal or an analog signal into a CAN bus signal if you wish. So here we are coming up to a stop. little rev blip, but it also cancels out when you are stopped or very close to. So if you do abruptly stop, you're not going to have this like massive rise in RPM or like trying to push through a gear as well. So those are the main points that I want to sort of talk about, like with the gearbox controllers that we have worked on. And I guess people might be interested in what we're going to offer for the 8 HP platform, and it will require you to rewire or remove the stock TCM control, which is in the mechatronics. But then once you have removed it, it will be like a plug and play system, and yeah, we just want to make it nice and easy and give you base files, and you know, it'll plug into all the diesels that we currently work on. So look, if you put a 8-speed as well in a Jimny, we can make that happen, but it's going to be like quite heavy for what it is. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities to mix and match and make different vehicles perform with different gearboxes. So if you've got any questions, boostec.com.au, and feel free to also contact any of our guys like Chris from Energetic Motorsports, Baldor from BCS, Dale from Performance 4x4, Jordan from Only Land Cruisers. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are quite knowledgeable, and I should put a special mention to Caleb Teresi as well. He's an amazing guy. He's been doing a lot of independent work, and he's got everything down pat in my eyes. Like you say, he's a young up and comer, I should say, and his head screwed on perfectly to be tackling all the FTE stuff that we do and all the gearbox stuff that we do. So yeah, if you've got any questions, especially about 8 speeds, he's very knowledgeable about that. General tuning, I'd probably talk to Dale, and maybe like configuration and what parts to buy. Like you can also talk to Dale from Performance 4x4, but Jordan, yeah, he'll chew your ear off about like what's the best combinations or what he likes to see on vehicles. So any of those guys, go for it. And of course us, yeah, you're more than welcome to send us an email. That's info@boostec.com.au, and we can definitely give you the right guidance for the combination that you want. So much appreciated, guys. Have a good one.